Hi, everybody. Of course, I'm going to be repeating myself. When I work with John, he would repeat the same thing to me over and over using different words and combination of those words so that I get it. And some things, it took me very little time. With some things, I figure out after he was gone in 2022. But he lined those things up for me so that for sure I get it. And I now realize how important that was, because if I get it, I can share with you. And if you get it, then we can make such a difference in this world. It would make a difference from the way it is now to very good. And I believe in my heart, in my mind, I believe that is the great plan Jesus spoke about, that God have for us. And so today we're raising questions. We've done some technical work, logistics work with scripture and the first few pages of Genesis to see how God created things and what order and what was the situation. It's very well described here. For example, day 1, it was good. Day 2, didn't say anything. Day 3 was good. When we get to day 6, it was very good. And then day 7, God is resting. And surely enough, kids fuck up and things went down the hill. So the idea is to figure out why things went down the hill. We have plenty of information. We have each other, because there is Christ in every one of you, this much or this much or this much. And we all have talents that God gave us. And so if we choose to stay on this path to figure out, rather than just blindly listen to whatever is broadcasting toward us, then we can put truth above religion and be in a better shape, at least in a better shape. So we read in Genesis, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. The first thing that God did, created the light. Also, so that was first thing. And if we compare in realities, for example, compare reality where we currently are today with a computer game that we created within a different pattern. We created computer reality, and it is plugged into the outlet. There's gonna be a power to power it up. And if there's a continuous power, which is, we know the condition of that power that computer needs, then reality have a chance to stand. And some kids that just cannot wait to grow up, they may become someone in that particular computer not fake reality, but reality. We can call it fake or not fake, but it is place where you can achieve, or it is place where you can learn the lessons. You can learn your focus. You can become someone. So whenever somebody comes in and just unplugs that plug out of the power outlet, reality is gone, right? So when we're looking in the Genesis, and interestingly, Genesis and genetics, there are some, I believe, connection. God wanted to let us know true story, why things went the way you want, what was the consequences, and the order of things. So that's what we're doing. I myself asked God about 12 years ago when I got fed up with things in my life that was attacking me or going against me or something else, where I felt like I'm getting beat up no matter what lengths or steps in love I'm taking toward other people. There's been always this feel that something is hitting me back. So I got fed up of it and I asked God, why things the way they are in your creation? So he grabbed me by the hand and started sharing with me, but it is as I realize now, it's a long walk because it takes some time to bring you up to speed, and you're not necessarily going to understand right away, but step by step, gradually, you stand the chance. So as you maybe already know from some of the previous videos, he started teaching me, and we met with John, and John was a huge part in relaying information to me that I could soak in, process, and come up with understanding so that I can bring it to you. And so one of the first steps for God was to take my little creation that I created at the time, it's a tree service company, and completely shred it to pieces, annihilate it. It felt harsh. So my creation was affected. It felt really harsh. I was getting into the answers even more. I'm trying to figure out, I just recently, I was trying to figure out why things happening on this level, and now things happening on this level, and I have no clue what's going on. I just see that it's all awkward, unfair, sometimes feels like it's not possible to be the way it's actually happening. But it is happening like right here. It's happening to me. So I didn't know at the time what he was doing. I just knew in my heart he was answering my question. So after my creation was shredded, and I was at the point of basically losing it completely, that's exactly the time when I met with John, 2016. And when we got with John, with his guidance and teachings, he pretty much, just like a God's contractor, came into my creation, grabbed me by the hand, pretty much as God directly grabbing my hand to guide me through the circumstances and the situations, so that I can pull myself into a better positioning in understanding. So when we start working together, we was able to change the structure of my company from this regular worker, owner-worker to owner and contractors. Again, I didn't understand why, but contractors, there are differences in communicating with them. For example, you give them the job, they can say, no, I don't want to do it. You give them the price for the job, they can say, it's too little. You give them the client that would like to get some things done, and it is very specific with the skill set needed for that job. And they say, I need to take a vacation. So in the first 2 years of that switch, I had a hard time. So I'm stripped completely out of my tools. All I have is access to a few contractors with their set of tools. And the only way I can make them do something is if it fits with the way they feel, for what they do, for what they get to deliver to my client in my creation. So very frustrating experience in the beginning. But then 2 years later, I realized things just have to be fair. And just as God gave me choice to do this or that, I'm giving them the choice, and it's a fair game and within my creation to do or not to do. So of course it taught me fairness. It taught me to shovel my ego. It taught me a lot of things to see things in my creations more correctly. And in this process, my job as the owner of my creation, or as the son of mini creation within creation of the God, to make things positive with my clients. So clients would like to get things done. They have sort of requirements. So my job is to meet all those requirements. What tools can I use? Only those people. I don't have my own tools. So if Mandy would like to get this done, I only have access to few contractors that listens to me, that I have communication with, to send them to Mandy to make sure that she's satisfied. And then Mandy will give us some money, exchange of energy. As we're learning in the scripture, we trade our talent for the talent back in the day as a currency that people pay us. So then we have the talent, and I can pay contractor and have some portion to sustain my creation. So it was very difficult, but very good experience from the perspective of understanding how things set up in God's creation, in a bigger creation of my Father. Because whenever He's calling my name, He's calling me in my heart, in my mind, Misha, I want you to do this. I'm driving on the bicycle, and there's a guy with a sign on the corner, and it says, and you don't even have to read the sign, you can tell he could have some water. And so I'm driving passing, because I'm not sure I even have anything to give. Then I turn around and realize I do have a $3 that I don't have a use for, and he could really use it. So I turn around, I come back to the guy, say, God told me to turn around, here's $3 for you. So very simple application, but as we started with light, that simple thing I just shared with you added light in God's house and God's creation a little bit. You're not gonna see it with the naked eye, like increase of it, but it did. And that's an interesting point, what this video is about. So whenever situations in my creations get rough, I lost my creation twice. We all heard that God's creation was gone several times over. I've heard the number 7. I don't know for sure, I'm just sharing with you. We're raising questions today. So my creation, Vegas Best Tree Service, was taken apart 2 times, at least 2 times. And God sent His contractor, His son. Contractor is, you can easily understand what I'm talking about. So God sent His son, John, to grab my hand and to teach me things, how to correct things in my creation. He gave me ability to go as far as this whole house of God, God's creation. He gave me ability to run it. But I choose to have my little creation, Vegas Best Tree Service, and I did have problems with it. And as we know, people say first 2 years in business, 98% of the businesses do not make it. Kind of odd number. Why would there be like 98% of the businesses not make it? Like somebody like standing in front of them with the gun? No. So there must be a logical explanation why the number is so high. 98% of the people and businesses don't make it for the 98. It's just crazy. So as John teaching me, I'm getting better. Within the first 3 months, I was able to turn things around in my business, and I brought it back from ashes to get it to the point where I was comfortable with. It took over 6 years, close to 7 years of continuous work with John, my best friend, God's son, my father, as I call him. I have my biological father, and John is the one that Father sent for me, and I call him my father. So it gets interesting. I'm seeing more of what I never seen before with a new perspective that he is giving me. It's interesting because remember I was just sharing with you about contractors. So when Mandy would like to get something done, I have to reach out to my contractors, and at least one, I need him to agree to go take care of Mandy, whatever she want to do with your trees. If it happens that none of my contractors choose to do the task, then as a creator of my little creation, I'm kind of out of luck. Because I don't have tools on my own. I created my creation in a way so they benefit. Just like God created this whole creation for us, this beautiful earth, he didn't even create body for himself. We're not going to get deep into it, but he gave it all to us. So if he's reaching out to me when I'm passing by this guy on the corner of the street that clearly needs some water, to pass on even a few dollars, or to say something positive if you don't have money, then I better do it. Not because I feel obligated, because he asked me. So if more of us choose not to hear what he say, then more of us not adding the light to this place that he created, and at some point there's less and less and less light here. When we walk in the room, when we turn the light in the dark room, darkness is gone instantly. If we turn the light off, darkness is back there instantly. So we're raising the questions. When Jesus was here, he said, for as long as I'm here, there is plenty of light. Plenty. Okay, but we know that he's no longer here physically after resurrection. And it's a different story, we'll get to it. He's right now living on a different planet. But currently on our planet, this is such a bombarding information that some of you might even stop watching this video now, because you would be like, no, it cannot be. Well, hold on a minute. Let's get into it. That's some of the next steps that we're going to do. So before Jesus was gone, he had several meetings with apostles, and he gave them 10 commandments. And when they asked him, teacher, what is the most important commandment out of all? He didn't say not to kill. He was talking about love. So, okay. So the 10 commandments, it looked to me as notes about what love is. So not to do this, not to do this, not to do this. It's like a small level of understanding what love is. And then if Jesus was gone from the planet, and then another question, what kind of cloud he won in after his resurrection before he left the planet? Is that the same cloud that he's coming back onto the planet with a group of his friends during the time of the second coming? More questions come in as we start digging. Okay, so he gave us responsibility to be the light, another way of saying. So when I wake up, I say, Father, thank you for another beautiful day in my manifestation here, and thank you for opportunity to be example of your light, to increase it, and to be example of it, to be example of your light for other people. Wow, it's that simple, huh? Yeah, it is that simple. So we see what a lot of things happening in a negative way on our planet, because things no longer very good as it was on the day 6 in the garden. It went down the hill. So what we're doing now, we putting things together to see, like, where is the science of it? Where is the logic of it? Several people have been trying to stop wars in the last several centuries. The wars still happening. So just like we started, and I made an example of a computer video game reality that kids play. If you unplug it, there's no more reality. So it seems like within the creation God created, there are very key science elements that can really help us understand how things are organized and how they are working together here for the better. And we touched on some of those in the previous video, which is there are some forces, or we can call it dark forces, or we can call it as a team, or we can just simply say crafty animal, or scientist, or snake. And by the way, in the computer, we often say a worm related to a virus in the computer. A worm related to a virus in the computer. In the Garden of Eden, it talks about snake. So there's a snake we can be talking about related to mind virus. But again, in the previous video, we was putting things together to see what kind of battle, what it is all about. We're talking about light now, right? So we come to the conclusions that those forces are working day and night, 24/7 against love, truth, and joy. Or is that another way of saying there is a mind virus that working against those three, just like in the computer virus working against data, hard drive, processor, making things screwed up for computer. So how do we improve the situation with the technology in the computer? We use the antivirus. So we counteract the negative aspects of reality that's happening in a negative way in the computer by using the antivirus, by applying it and keeping it on. Can we do something similar here? So we get to the point where we're looking into my mini creation, we're looking at the God's big creation. So in order for God to help me with my mini creation, he had to have at least one contractor, his son, to come down into my creation, to grab me by the hand and to help me sustain it, bring it to the better situation from where I can run it better. So if I can go into somebody else mini creation within God's creation and grab him by the hand and help him to get to the better raised ground where he would be more confident about his creation, running his creation, then there would be more of us within the God's creation, with the little creations guided in the correct way. Another way of saying, preventing this virus from affecting us in a negative way that go against love, truth, and joy. I'm just talking here, having the coffee, and some of you would follow my logic. I didn't do the script preparation. We just putting the questions together. Because ideally, we wanted to make sure that light is there. Because as we're reading here in Genesis number 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Then the light came in, and so then God separated the light from the darkness. On the day 2, it didn't say that things were good. So apparently the darkness or this other team, they are against light, even that they have their own space within this God's creation. They have their own purpose. They clearly against the light. Then the questions come up, why would some of those plane trails, for example, block sunrises at the end of the day to where the area where the sun is completely blocked by the trails, for example. So we're trying to put things together in order to make sense of those events. And then we get to the day 6, we learn that things was very good. God created woman from Adam's rib. So God created Adam from the ground, and then he created the woman from Adam's rib. And then we learn about the snake in the garden. And he's approaching the woman. So the question is, why wouldn't he approach the man? So we wanted to figure out, maybe woman was a little bit more vulnerable with the snake for some reason. We want to look into it. So the snake, crafty animal, scientist, I would say, right from the garden, things went down the hill. So then, in the second coming of Christ and in Revelation, we learn about the set of events that Jesus spoke about, how things gonna unravel. And we see that one of the main points, if we pay attention, is that love will grow cold. There are also recommendations that he gave us. If you pay attention, you can get connected with it. For example, he would say, decide now how you're gonna feel when those things start happening to you. What does that mean? So if I choose now how I'm gonna feel when some things happen to me, then I'm in a better control of my feel mode. I'm not gonna let that to be shaked off into the left or right or up or down. I'm gonna be more into how I decide I wanted to feel at that point. Why is that important? Apparently, it is important because our feel mode have to do a lot with this light. That third verse in Genesis, right from the beginning. It's connected with the light. How is this connected with the light? When we feel love, we're emitting that energy that transmute in less than a split second into light that is reflected from the planets above and sun included, and comes back to the planet and gives life to everything living on this planet. And when we're shorting how much light we're emitting, planet has less of that light. Another way of saying there is a shortage of the light. Since we started with comparison the reality of the computer, and I brought the comparison of my mini creation, I wanted to add something interesting. For example, in Las Vegas, we have a business called Money Tree. Money Tree is a business where when you have the check from the client, you can go cash it there, and they'll turn it into cash for you. Money Tree, it's called. It didn't get to me right away, but not long ago, God answered another question or gave me another piece of puzzle. We know that he tell Adam there are 2 trees in the garden. So, money tree, in any business, there's going to be a money tree, or another way of saying a budget. If you don't make to the sort of level in the business, then your business is struggling, it's suffering. You have a very limited chances moving forward or improve things. So money tree is when we go and do something for somebody and we trade our talent for the currency of talent, and we bring it back to our reality. We wanted to make sure that money tree is we're not taking away from it. We're not taking from that budget. We improve it, we increase it. So comparison that God gave me recently is that when he spoke about the tree of life in the garden, and we know that when God created Adam, he breathed into him life. So could that be energy of life that God is giving us continuously, that we all sharing between each other, that we all sharing? Is this why we all are one? Life force energy that we have responsibility to keep at the certain levels, to where if we don't do it, things happening just like with the business start to crumble, and only 2% out of the businesses in the first 2 years survive, for example, as we know. So if some forces are so effective against businesses and small creations of people, it's easy to understand that there are forces that working against the greater creation of God. You get my point? So the life force energy, just like a money tree for a business, there is a tree of life within this creation, to where if we taking from it, if we taking from the budget, what budget? We're connecting very interesting aspects now. So a tree of life, God breathing into the atom, the life force energy. Okay. So Jesus said, for as long as I'm here, there is plenty of light. So the angels came and told us not to look for him in a dead world, so we know he's alive. In one of the next videos, we're gonna go through truth that he's actually on another planet, and he's working remotely from there now, but he's in his physical body, the same body that he left this planet in. So then we have responsibility to emit that light, emit love to produce that light so that we have it in abundance, not at the minimum required levels, because when it gets to the minimum required levels, less than the budget supposed to be, then this creation, you know what happens? It falls apart. Earthquakes happens, tsunami happens, some have such a condition, it's not even funny. So it falls apart, just like a business, it crumbles. There's not enough money in money tree of your business, it crumbles. There's not enough in the life force, and the tree of life is not producing anymore. We are the fruits of the tree of life. Jesus said we have to be energetically at work for the one who sent me. This is translation in Message. Okay, so our responsibility is to protect this feel of love or joy or understanding truth. Why? Because this snake, this virus in the mind, is attacking it 24/7. Why? To prevent life to be, to prevent light to be. So if I wake up in the morning and if I say, thank you, Father, to be example of your light for other people, to increase it in your reality, then I'm choosing today to be an example of His light. By making that decision, there would be situations during the day where I could enlighten somebody else's day through deeds. Sometimes through word, sometimes through a simple smile, sometimes through simple act like this. Hey, how's it going? So whenever another person get closer to love, we're talking about man now, then he would emit that light, because the science of the body of man is such that those biological and energy reactors with heart and mind and everything is connected. So when we learn about how the science works and how woman can make man move the mountains, how does she do that? So this is where we're getting in. I know if I just continue reading and analyzing and using whatever applications I'm doing for it, without putting the heart on the table for you to grasp on what am I talking about, you're not going to be interested. And often we're not interested because if we learn the truth, then we feel obligated that we have to follow. So snakes have ways to set our mind, just like I told you, away from truth, love, and joy. Through different set of beliefs that he would work individually with each mind to get you away from light, away from being the light, away from being example of the light, away from being the Son of God. There will be more questions, but starting next video, we're gonna get into wrapping some of the things that we just recently have gone through, those 3 pages of Genesis, and see what would be the key elements and how we can connect with these conversations that we currently have. How those things connected with the light, the snake virus, with free choice that my contractors have or God's kids have toward doing something great. And hopefully by the time we're closer to October, which is going to be 140 years of the Statue of Liberty, we can get closer to deeper understanding what that light that Statue of Liberty holds is all about. One of the reasons we want to get there is because when they was doing renovation of the Statue of Liberty, they swapped that light with a golden nugget and throw the whole meaning of the Statue of Liberty off the cliff. When they first built it, they didn't light it up, that light, right away. Some people in charge of it was coming with whole bunch of things, bull crap, to prevent that light from shining. They would say it's gonna blind the ship captains and people on the ship, and they're just gonna crash. So finally they light up that light, but then when it got time to improve Statue of Liberty, restore it, they changed the light with the golden nugget. If you look in America, when things start going really down the hill from being very good, you can see that it happened from the time when they replaced the light with a golden nugget. As we're going through it, some of you would not be able to stay with me for 45 minutes to an hour. But my hope is that there would be a lot of young ones that would just have a lot of urge to learn why things the way they are, just like I did. And some of what I do would be helpful for you to figure out. Thank you.